Yes, hello and welcome to A Celtic World, the YouTube channel and podcast made by Celtic fans all over the world, for Celtic fans all over the world. And as usual, we're having 1,000 tech issues. Please tell us if anyone's volume needs to be turned up or turned down. Hope you enjoyed the new theme tune. Pretty funky. Let's say hello to David and first of all, Brian.
Hello, Gav. Did you rip that off Eurovision or something? The sound? No, it sounds class. Very good.
It was put together. It was put together by another within the Celtic World group who doesn't like, individual praise. You hear the dogs barking here? Let me throw it over to David. How's it going, David?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I guess we'll let the dogs out, Gav. But I was also going to say I thought it was very much Eurovision. I don't know if there's something you're going to be doing a different variation of the intro every week, but no challenge. So welcome everyone. Hail, hail! Looking forward to the show.
Good man. It's not going to be a new one every week, but we've got a couple of versions. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. Yeah, we've got a couple of versions to play. So let me just check on my latest tech issues. 96% of my battery is available. I think we're going to be okay. I've been having this problem where even though my laptop's plugged in, the battery is just shrinking, the battery power, and I haven't been able to solve it just yet. Gav's mic needs to go down, Brian's up. All right.
Okay.
Well, in the meantime, Brian, tell us how emotional you've been getting about Martinoneill.
I was near tears watching them last night. It just brings back so many memories of the early 2000s and just seeing him back there. It's like seeing your dad back there again. You know what I mean? It's almost that feeling of security. You can't, nothing will go wrong. And Martin's there. Do you know what I mean? I know he's a bit of a character and all the rest of it, but I just love him, and I wanted him to stay on. Just because it was just a great, but it's good. It's good that he's gone now because I was worried about it taking its toll on the man. He's 73, and you wouldn't want him to have a heart attack or anything or become poorly because there's a lot of travelling involved with the game, with the manager job. So he's been back and forth, and it's just getting welled up now. Martinoneill, a lot in common with him. He went to the same school as us and obviously saved us from that advocate and all the rest of them. Just a lovely man, true professional and a motivator, an old school manager. Just come in and be able to help us out. No games, just it's all about winning. And even at the end, he turned around and says, "Yeah, it's nice to go out, but it's all about winning." And that's I'm hoping the winning mentality's back.
Are you not a bit surprised, David? Are you not a bit surprised that Martin didn't get more emotional than he did? Because the older you get, the older I get, the more prone I am to the waterworks coming out. And imagine if I was 73 in front of a stadium full of people all cheering my name. And it's been like how was it he described it? He said the time of his life. I'm surprised he held it together and was kind of cool, weren't you?
I think he's just a cool guy. I think probably he was here for 7 weeks. He lived the dream. He was absolutely magnificent for us. I think, the blessed Martin, was just absolutely magnificent. Won every game domestically. This was the time when we won away in Europe, in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
One defeat against the Danish mob. But considering where we were when he took over, we were 9 points behind Hearts. We're now same number of points with a game in hand. Huns are still in free fall. He beat Huns in the semi-final. It was tremendous, and I think he's the kind of guy that he was quite happy to sort of to let the others take the credit. So fair play to him.
Thing I liked, sorry, David, the thing I liked about Martin recently was he wasn't afraid to change it up and hook players if they weren't performing, and verbally criticize them. And like Osman, when he was like, great young fella, scored the goal, but he could have scored another one. He's keeping boys' feet on the ground. But his substitutions I thought were very good. Sometimes under the previous manager, Brendan, you're going, what the hell's going on here? Whereas we're a wee more unpredictable, but predictable, if that makes sense, under Martin. Martin's going to... Whereas Brendan, you wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on to the game, shall we? Let's talk about around the game first of all. There's a couple of pictures here. David, to talk us through this banner.
We're here, we're there, I can't even read it.
It says they're there and they're always there. Don't forget it.
Yes,
obviously.
Clearly the Green Brigade, and I think the whole, the Celtic collective continues to do fantastic work, and and I think we have to. I think one of the people mentioned in the chat about let's not get carried away here. Martin O'Neill's done a fantastic job for us, but the problems are still there. The board are still there. The treating the fans like shit is still there. Showing the contempt for the fans. We need the Green Brigade. We need the atmosphere. We need to support the team. And if you've got a big empty part of the stadium, or the noisiest, the ones that have got the most vocal support, we need them back. And so that this is not. We're obviously we want the team to do well, but we've also got to support the supporters.
I personally am quite happy to get carried away because this season's been an absolute drudge fest for me. It's been really hard and kind of annoying being a Celtic fan until Martin O'Neill came in, and suddenly he lifts his spirits and the results are better. And we've got a new manager coming in, so I'm feeling nothing but positives. Of course, I know all the issues that the club has, the team has, but I'm hopeful at least that the issues on the field will get better during the course of this season under the new manager. Brian, I'm going to ask you about this next one. Did you see that on the coverage?
Parasites. I didn't actually go because it was stream. I was watching it on, was in and out, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. But hopefully Nancy will come in and try and address some of the issues. But there's part of me thinking, does he need that? He just needs to get in and manage or coach the football club, not worry about the external noise or the internal noise, should I say? But did you see? I don't know if you saw the statement. It was almost like two fingers up to Rodgers. It was like, he said Martin O'Neill, true Celtic man. And then he said about Nancy, who will be fully backed in the transfer window. There's no need to say fully backed. Do you know what I mean? They're going to back him. He's a manager. They back him regardless. But I found that very telling, the sort of three statements from Lowell, Nicholson and Desmond.
Yeah, as you know, Brian, I've been away for a few weeks. As everybody knows, we've had a few issues recently on the channel. But yeah, so much has changed since I went away. Hearts were miles ahead. Europa League was a non-event. Nobody gave a toss. And, you come back and it's the whole picture has changed. So I think that's where they've celebrating. I haven't been on top of all of the goings on. The AGM and all happened while I was away. 1,000 statements left and right have been issued from all quarters. So I can't pretend to be on top of all those. But we're on top of what happened most recently. So David, hit me up with your thoughts on the lineup.
Yeah, pretty much as expected. The same teams as we've had the two previous games. I was looking forward to see Hatate hoping to see a replication of his fantastic form, and he didn't let us down. I think Donovan had to be selected over Ralston. So for me, there wasn't any particular surprises. It was same old, same old. I'm not sure about having McCowan on the right-hand side. I don't know if this is to getting the team ready for the African nations, but yeah, it was pretty much expected.
Okay, well, let's get on with the game then. So, Brian, you watched this. Now, I've got to apologise again because these images are a bit blurry. And that's because these days, because of my self-imposed ban on Celtic TV, I can only steal images from like highlights packages on YouTube, and the quality is not good. So I've got a bit of a quandary, Brian. Should I cross the picket line for the sake of the product, or what?
Do what your heart do what your heart tells you, Gav. Always, if your heart or your belly or your stomach or whatever makes you feel, you've a good insight into what's important. Oh, that's fine. That's great. I can see that grand.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is Hatate's little chip to Yang.
Yeah.
Is that the very first thing that happened?
Pretty much.
And then Yang runs in. The shot hits the keeper and bounces up.
And who's there?
And there's Maeda to stick his head on it. Now, this is one thing I didn't expect to be talking about, Brian, when I came back to the Celtic world. Yang, Maeda, Hatate, all playing well, combining, scoring goals. The world's gone crazy.
I don't know, maybe Martin's fluent in Japanese or Korean, but he's certainly getting a tune out of the boys. And I think he actually said about Yang's probably one of the most skillful players at the club. And to me, Rio's back to I was trying to write words to, I don't know if it's been done already, Jaran Rio. His name is Rio and he comes from Japan. That was the first line anyway,
Do it, Brian. Get into the studio. Come on.
I'll do something for a laugh at the weekend. But he's, Martin, he's a great motivator, and he's probably not really done too much with them from a tactical point of view, but he's come in and said, like, these boys are winners. They've won things. They're serial winners. Yeah, it's great to get a tune of them, but whether they'll be there in January is another thing. But hey, you only play what you've got. And he's definitely, Martin got a tune out of the boys, and fair play.
So that was also 1-0 up.
Dyson assaulted,
Yeah. That's right.
Quite scary for a while. He was off the pitch for 5 minutes, and fair play to Casper doing a Donnarumma. He pretended to go down with cramp. There's a rule at the minute that they can't continue without a goalkeeper. So he obviously did a bit of dark arts there, and feigned injury.
For what purpose?
So we're
while he was getting treatment?
While Dyson was getting treatment, Dyson was off the pitch for 6 minutes.
Oh, right. I didn't realise that.
I was out to here, and
I saw that, yeah.
He'd a full-on Rabsy Nesbitt on his bonnet. But then Casper just goes, ah.
Oh, that was clever.
David,
in your playing days, would you have been able to stick the head in like that?
I'd have probably been providing the pass from Yang. He's sort of missing the shot that's deflected onto his napper. But no, I think just getting back to the first goal. I mean, I think Hatate's pass was sublime. I mean, if you look at the second goal against Hibs last weekend, it was just a sort of nonchalant little first touch pass with the side of the foot that set up the second goal. I mean, I know that Sarachi did a lot of running after it, but the control he did to sort of break, the line was superb. I think later on we'll probably see the one where he has a shot that was well saved. But having Hatate back playing like that
that's amazing.
It's so important to everything we do. Whether it's Mahesh is saying he was playing a bit more forward, I'm not sure. I think
I think he just means to. Does he mean at a higher level or higher up the pitch?
I think he was playing higher up the pitch. I'm not sure about that, but certainly when he's on form like that, I think previously maybe his head was down, or I'm hoping his head wasn't turned, and this isn't just him reminding people how good he is before the start of the transfer window. But he's been tremendous the last 3 games.
He has. There's no doubt. All right, David. We'll come to you for this next bit. This is a promising attack for Dundee. And they put the crossover, but snuffed out by McGregor, tracking back, doing his job. O'Neill's been full of praise for McGregor under him. Has he, tell me, because I've missed a lot of the live games, has he really been very good as well?
Oh, please, Gav, is this an intro into your new McGregor song?
No. Just asking you, has McGregor been as good as O'Neill's been saying?
I think he's been superb. I think he's really stepped up. The goal against the Huns in the semi-final, and then the World Day the following against St Mirren in the last minute. I think in St Mirren nobody played particularly well, but he's the one that stepped up, took responsibility, took the shot. He's really, I think when you watch him play, there's a lot of confidence about it as well. The fact that you see him just doing those little 3-4 metre sort of spurts of speed, whereas under Rodgers for most of this season, we've never seen him trying to break the lines. So fair plays to Martinoneill, who's definitely got the best out of him. But also I think that Maloney and Fotheringham, I saw a clip, I think you shared an interview with Mark Fotheringham, and he was talking about the impact that Calmac has had on the team, and people don't realise what an excellent footballer he is. So for me, I think the whole midfield. I mean, we can talk about Engels, who's been really good for the last few weeks as well. So we're struggling in certain areas, and the fullbacks and the wingers, and maybe up front as well. But we've got a very strong midfield just now.
Well, saying as you mentioned it, I'll share this now. This is Callum McFadden, who's been on the show a few times, young journalist, and he has an interview on the World Football Index, Mark Fotheringham interview, which is worth a read. Because if you believe what Martin has to say, those boys, the two of them that you mentioned, have been instrumental in everything that's happened, and O'Neill's a bit more of a figurehead, so that's worth checking out. Good work there by Callum. All right, so that was that. Next moment is this, Brian. Sriracha, promising looking moment here, but you're up off the sofa, spilling tea all over your trousers.
Oh yeah, this is the one Dyson could have put Sriracha in. No,
I think it was Hatate put him in, but
Hatate put him in, but Dyson goes for goal, and it goes to the right of the post. Whereas if he left it, maybe or identified Sriracha running in. Is that the one?
No. This ball is travelling out this direction. Sriracha latches onto it, has a shot. The keeper sort of saves it, but then this guy has to clear it off the line.
Right. If that goes in, I had a bet on the game last night. I thought Celtic would win about 6-0. Obviously, it didn't happen. Just put a bet on, but I thought if we'd got one early, which we did, and then another one, it could have been a cricket score, but no, it was just unfortunate. But there we go.
David, Scales under pressure from a long ball from Dundee. Did I miss Dundee signing for Dundee? Did he join Hearts? Did he not join Hearts?
Is that Jan Dundee? No.
Yeah, isn't it? Or am I getting in it? Is it somebody else?
Maybe there's a same name. Yeah.
Sounds a bit like that. Anyway, Scales doesn't get enough on it, and in pops Simon Murray and hits it off the crossbar. Two things, David. Scales a bit slack there, and number two, why does Simon Murray always get both his first and second name mentioned?
Great questions, Gav. I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were going to ask the third question. Was it offside? Because I think it was. I'm not sure if they've got to go back for it. Probably being paranoid. But yeah, I mean, it was a bad mistake by Scales. And saying that again, a guy who's stepped up massively in the last 6 weeks for club and country. I mean, how can you not be confident after those magnificent displays against Portugal and Hungary, setting up the assists that hopefully get the Republic to the World Cup? They've only got a couple of easy games to get through, I think. But no, I think Scales. It was a misjudged that Murray ended up hitting onto the bar. But I had a feeling. I think I saw somewhere it was offside. But yeah, fair plays for Scales for overall. I think we've seen a much different side to him. And probably my only concern would be that if it looks like if Sarachi's out for an extended period, then we might have to see him doing that sort of left wing cover for KT.
Yeah, I know it is a concern. We'll come on to that. Danda was at Hearts, says Mahesh. Good player. Madness by Hearts to let him go. He is a good player. He's got skill anyway. He's a bit lightweight, but he's quite inventive. Now, last night's game, Brian, was indicative to me of the fact that our midfielders are just oozing confidence and playing in a way that we haven't seen them play all season. And no better a demonstration of it than here. This is a nice wee bit of interplay. I think that's Engels laying it back there to Hatate, who sees the run of McCowan here, who you can see he's just on his way, and just plays that lovely little ball into space that McCowan's running into. None of that happened under Rodgers, really. That sort of inventive little movement in space and first-time balls. Absolutely lovely to see, isn't it?
It's, going from the horseshoe of death to swashbuckling football, box to box, Stilian Petrov-esque. It's just, I don't know. There's part of me that this whole story that keeps going on about Brendan and the board and him falling out with everybody. That's the thing about Brendan. He's good at what he does, but I think he's sort of, after a couple of years hearing the same old crap from him, maybe the players and even the team selection.
Did you hear? Sorry to interrupt you, but on that point, Schmeichel said, he's really enjoyed working under O'Neill and the way he talks to the players. He's like, there's no bullshit. It's bullshit for his own. Makes you think, wow, that is very telling. He's listening to Rodgers going on all this bollocks. He must be thinking.
I can imagine it's being in a. I don't know. Martinoneill reminds me of an old school teacher or something. When he's something to say, you listen, as opposed to some other younger teachers that were maybe just. Yeah, I've heard all this crap before. Look, there's no doubt Brendan is a great manager, but Martin is happy to work with what he has. And he turned around and says, his whole thing was the players. It was the players and the backroom team. Sometimes that's what you need in life. Just let's keep it simple. Let's make a change. If something's not working, change it, and that's something Martin was very good at. I noticed that substitutions, wasn't afraid to hook someone at half time. If he hooked Tate last night, but I think that was more out of the guy who's busted. He's been playing intense. What was it? Something like 3 games in 10 days, from memory. But the intensity of Martin's play, and he's not afraid to go long with needed. And I'm very much a pragmatist when it comes to management. Not me personally, but it's something.
Well, mix it up. Do lots of different things. That's good.
Look at Man City at the minute. They're doing long balls and long throws, and the game changes. This whole tippy-tappy recycle. People want to see, and goals takes the pressure off teams, and that's so obvious. But You know,
we nearly got another one at the end of that move there. The McCowan shot was saved, and Maeda followed up. I think it was the end of that move, and put it just wide. David, here's another thing to talk about. Donovan on the edge of the box. What happens next? If I could ask the David Coleman question, do you know?
The Coleman balls. Yeah. This is the one where I think he passes it to Engels. Engels does a nice little back heel, and then comes to Hatate, who. I mean, the problem with Hatate, he just can't control the ball. He struggles under pressure so much. He's got so much time and space that he sort of pretended he was going to shoot, and then he took about 3 players out of the game, and then with a left foot shot, he was very unlucky. Hail Eddie, by the way, from the world famous. Good to see you. But certainly for Hatate just brings that confidence, and he was very unlucky. And I think that he doesn't like getting subbed. I like to see that sort of huffiness about him. I was quite surprised that Maeda stayed on the pitch. I mean, that was a very serious injury he had after 10 minutes, and I mean, his eye will be in some state today, I would have thought, and I'd really want him to be, obviously, state the obvious, but we really need him for Sunday, and for the cup final. I'm not massively bothered about Roma. But now that Martinoneill got his back, winning away games in Europa, then maybe we can see what happens. But definitely for Sunday and the following week, the cup final, I'd really like to see Maeda, fully fit and guns blazing.
Yeah. Well, that passage of play we just watched there, I mean, again, just midfielders oozing confidence, playing well with each other. Given what we've had to tolerate this season from our midfield, I am absolutely thrilled that there's at least something to cling on to. And Pete McGee's comments, it looks like he's got out of the wrong side of the bed today, but I refuse to be downhearted. I know we've still got lots of issues, but this has been good. It's been a clear uptick, and I'm all about it. Donovan whips in a dangerous ball here, Brian. If you were the centre forward, you'd have been on the end of it.
Oh, okay, it would have been row X if it was anything to do with me.
Sadly, no one was there, but it's nice to know that he can put those balls in.
He's apparently he's a very good crosser. Donovan, he's technically very good, and he was replaced by Ralston. Maybe Martin just wanted to see the game out and get a bit of steel in there. Needed the bricky to come to town.
Sorry, I was looking at the comments there. Did you say something?
Rob seen it. No, it was what do you call him? Peter Grant last night on the commentary.
Right.
Says he's like Rob C. Nesbitt. I thought Grant's commentary was actually half decent last night. He was, I don't know, it's another one of my classics. Where he was really ripping into Tunetki, or whatever his name is, saying Tunekti, and just again, I think he's another player that flatters to deceive, but we'll soon talk about him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I heard people saying he was a foreign Mikey Forrester.
Yeah, that's
Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnson, yeah.
Who's Mikey Forrester?
I don't know. That's somebody from
Emmerdale or something, is it?
No, it's from what do you call it? Yeah, Skag Boys and all that. Mikey Forrester's the drug dealer in Edinburgh. The
Irvin Welsh. That's him. Oh, Jesus. He does, but Mikey Forrest, Mikey. Is that his name, Mikey
Johnson?
Forrest?
Mikey Johnson.
Jesus Christ. Mikey Johnson had a bit of end product, whereas your man just sort of runs down, and I don't know, I just don't think he's good enough for us. I think it was a panic buy, we overpaid. There we go. And
well, let's get through the game, shall we? Anyway, and then we'll get on to the bigger issues. David, after Tunekti meekly loses possession, there's a long ball in behind Scales, and then the guy gets the shot away, and another save with the feet of Schmeichel. He seems to be using his feet an awful lot. recently, doesn't he? To save.
Yeah, I think you can see you're allowed to do that, Gav. I'm not sure if the rules have changed. I know the rules on handball seems to have changed, but I think goalies are still allowed to use their feet. I'm not sure if that one was good by the post, but I think probably it wasn't the best example of scales. I can't remember if it was on here. I was arguing with someone last week, or just arguing with someone in the street about how fast the scales was. But you know, he's definitely speed is not his strength, and the guy sort of, you know, zipped past him. But you know, I think the Schmeichel, you know, covered his goal well, and you know, and made a good save.
I think Schmeichel's been fantastic under Martin.
Sorry.
You know, he's really, sorry for cutting in. He's really up his game, not up this game, but he was going through a wee bit of a sticky patch under Rodgers, and I mean, he's certainly, some of the saves he's made. The couple of saves against Hibs was fabulous. Casper was really 10 out of 10.
It's easy enough to get confused between Mikey Johnson and James E. Forrester.
James E. Forrest,
and then end up with Mikey Forrester. I think that's what happened to me. Anyway, this fella here on the wing, this isn't time added on, and you're like, come on, cling to the 3 points. Sort of beat the guys. There's 3 of them there, and he sort of got past them with relative ease, didn't he, David? Whipped the ball in.
Yeah. I think fair play to Dundee. They didn't just turn up and you know, sort of defending everyone behind the ball. You know, I think what's his name, Presley. I know he takes a lot of stick from a lot of the Celtic fans. I think he done okay for us when he was a Celtic.
I liked Presley. I loved him. I had a Presley shirt.
But I wouldn't have necessarily gone that far. I don't know if that's Elvis Presley along with your last week it was the Stone Roses, and the previous week it was Joy Division, and now you've got Elvis Presley. But yeah, I think that you know, as a whole, I think Dundee have been playing relatively well. They've had quite a tough set of games, but they didn't just set their stall out to defend. Probably
they could have scored off this one. This was like a free header. Thankfully, it went meekly wide.
Yep.
I think
and
Martin Zora kept that one out.
Aura farming, what people talk about now. See all these terms you have to keep up with. Especially if you've got I don't know, when you do things that make you look like you're a legend, you're said to be aura farming. Anyway, right. There was still time for this. One of the subs in, Benjamin Nygren, lovely pass through to Maeda, who looked like he was going to finish it, but
off the post.
Well, it hit the woodwork, but the keeper actually made a save. If you watch it, you'll see the keeper got a touch to it, so it was an absolutely brilliant save, you have to say. But that would have been nice to finish the game off, Brian, eh? Not to be. But then celebrations. There you see O'Neill and Fotheringham, and the wee boy that grew up near where I am in Malaysia. Did you know that about him?
Oh yeah, he's from Malaysia. Yeah.
David, did you know that? His dad worked in oil and gas, and he grew up in the town of Miri, which is like one of the towns not that far from me.
Is that
M-I-R-I? Yeah, I knew
it is. There's something about Miri.
Which is completely different, but I think it makes everyone think about the same clip of the film. But
this reminds me.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not going there.
Early
potential jokes.
Early riser and all that. Sorry.
So are these two are definitely gone as well? Are they? Did I see that? Yeah. It's a new management team coming in, and they're Offski, but they did a great job, I have to say. All right, so individual players. Arnie Engels was interviewed recently talking about his facial injury when he went in for that goal against Hibs, and his dream of playing for Belgium in the World Cup finals. He's really come on to a game. He was out of the team for most of the season. started getting back in, did he? Just at the end of Brendan Rodgers. But under O'Neill, he's really stepped it up. David, is it inconceivable then that he will just carry on and become our midfield general, as the song sings about, you know? Or, come on, Arnie, you'll be great when you learn to dominate.
Was this another one of your songs, Gav?
That is, yes.
Excellent. So look forward to hearing that one again. I think he's been really good. I think quite often especially when you get young players, you need to sort of build up the confidence. I would leave it up to the more technical people in the sort of the tactical review, etc. In terms of this double pivot or whatever it is that.
But didn't Rodgers start, David? Sorry, with Negrin, and he benched. His midfield was Cal, Negrin, Hatate, and the Cal. I think at the minute Engels is playing more a number 6, and that's why Cal's able to push on. Shows you how much I know about football, but that was his natural possession when he was at Augsburg. Gav, he was
a deeper midfielder for sure. That's where all his highlights reel was, these big long raking passes and tracking back and putting the tackles in and stuff. He seemed to do that a lot. So Paul and the Tactical Review boys are the biggest Engels fans among us. And, I mean, we all want to see him kick on and do well and silence his critics because, we'll benefit from that. And I saw McGregor praising him as well, David. For a young lad, he was saying that Engels has got everything.
Yeah, I mean, quite right. I mean, I think that, I don't know whether O'Neill's got him playing slightly different position, but whatever's happening, it's working. And I'm hoping that when Nancy comes in, if it's not broken, don't fix it. We've got by far the strongest midfield in Scotland. It's good that we can bring people like Negrin or even Bernardo on with 10, 15 minutes to go, whatever. But the three we've got currently, they're there in merit. Engels is playing really well. McGregor's playing back to almost normal. It's a standard for him. And Hatate is just fantastic.
Yeah, Hatate is the next one I was going to come on to. He's been unbelievable the last couple of matches. I wonder what to make of this, because it wasn't long ago we were saying Hatate and Maeda, Brian, they're both checked out. They're both gone in January. Maeda definitely. Hatate probably. And, good riddance. A lot of people were saying, especially to Hatate, because, well, if Maeda's not going to, work his heart out for the team, then he can do one. And Hatate is far too inconsistent. Both of those things now have kind of been reversed. Hatate's found consistency, and Maeda's taking one for the team, left, right, and centre, and scoring goals. So where are you on these two?
Well, I would be delighted if we could retain them. I don't think we'll retain Dyson. I think he's going to go to Brentford, but I think Hatate's the best player in the league. Certainly, he's our best player. Technical. Well, Cal's obviously our best player, but you know what I mean. And not creative. He's just, he needs to be man managed. I think whenever, just cast your mind back to the World Cup. Remember Kyogo didn't get selected for the World Cup, and he went out and he just started playing football. There was a documentary about him, and he went out and started kicking the ball about Glasgow. And Hatate, I remember hearing a thing about Hatate when he had a really bad game or something happened to him, and he was in a cafe on a laptop just having a coffee. He's a very kind of humble kind of young punter, and when he was selected for the Asia Cup, he didn't get playing. He goes, I must do better, and I think he's very self-critical, and he looks sometimes as if he's about to burst into tears. And I think Martin's put the arm around him, and I think that's if no one sees him a good man manager, I would love to see it Happy stay on, but maybe this is the
You
end.
just don't know. You just don't know, because a new manager comes in, can be a whole new ball game. Some players that you were sure were gone can stay. Players that weren't getting a look in can flourish. Players that we think are undroppable might get dropped, so
Look at Forrest. Jamesy Forrest hardly featured under Martin, and he's got McCann out there. So he must rate the mentality of he calls him we look. I thought McCann was quite tall, but obviously he's not. But
there's no doubt in this fella's mentality. You have to say he's come back with a vengeance, hasn't he? To putting everything on the line, including his body. That is brutal looking. The swelling and the cut. It's nasty at the time, wasn't it? The players waving over fans, David.
Yeah.
Quite a worry.
Yeah. As I say, for me, it's something. The one thing about O'Neill is that he's very pragmatic. He wanted to make sure he won his last game, and Dyson had so much. Not for just. He was unlucky with the one at the post, but he's essentially the first line of defence, and and his game is not just about scoring goals. And he brings so much to the team. So I can see why Martin kept him on the pitch, but that was a big risk that he took, especially when Kenny's been doing okay. I thought he did a shift for Ireland as well. But really, if we can end the transfer window with Dyson and Rio still in the team, it'll be like 2 new signings.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here's some player ratings from the game. As you can see, Maida's at the top there, 8.28. Then we've got Engels, Hatate, Trusty and McGregor, all scoring well. Yang and Schmeichel, etc. So, decent performance. What other stats have we got? Ball possession 71-29. Expected goals almost 2. Mahesh likes his expected goals. And look at Dundee's. 17 total shots against 4. 4 big chances against 0. So, a solid victory.
Have you got stats on the number of fouls? Because the referee was an absolute disgrace again last night.
Definitely.
How do you get 71%?
13-4.
Yeah, so 71% possession, and we've got 3 times more fouls than they have. It's a typical. This is a new referee, and he's there for the watching for sure.
Yeah, and we got a few cards last night. I think Cal got a card, and don't know. I like Negrin at the end. He went in on he got the arm in. I like that. Fighting for the team. He went in on somebody, give him a bit of an elbow.
So this is where we are. This is where we sit at the moment. 32 points apiece at the top. Amazing turnaround, really. Hearts just keep drawing, don't they? Motherwell on 23. Sevco on 23. Hibernia and Falkirk make up the top 6. I see some people in the comments talking about those penalty decisions in the Sevco game. Yeah, over that, David?
Yeah. I think the penalty they got in the 1000th minute or whatever it was. I think most people considered it was soft at best. But the penalty that they should have got against them was, it was blatant. Some people were saying it was similar to Scales last week, but it was nothing like Scales last week. This was clear, no deflection. Sort of the ball travels 5 or 10 yards before he deflects it his hand. Scales, the ball sort of bounces off him sort of a yard away. The difference being that Scales gets penalised for it and gets a yellow card. And that's twice. I think it's the same Rangers defender 2 weeks in a row. I was expecting to see Madden get dropped after his nonsense, previously when he was in VAR. But I see that he was back on duty last weekend, so basically nothing to see here, Declan.
Bobby Madden.
You thinking of beating?
Beaten, sorry.
Us elder statesmen have to stick together, Mickey Forrester and what was it I said? James Johnson.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. It's funny, all their fans were jumping up and down, the conspiracy now that is against them in refereeing. And then when things like that happen, I mean, how do they square that circle? Or is that happening because they kicked up such a stink? That's the next question.
I just think they're irrelevant now. And I can't wait to their next game in Europe because they'll go, yeah, we can do this and we can kick the lumps out of people, and then they'll get 2 or 3 boys sent off. They're actually irrelevant now. I don't care about them. I really don't care, and I can't wait to play them and just tank them. But they're irrelevant. I just would love them to be mid-table. They were, well, I suppose they are mid-table at the minute, but just love them to get relegated, and they add nothing to the league.
All right. Well, we don't care about that, but what we do care about is our new manager. Now, when I went away to the Solomon Islands, there was a whole bunch of players, a whole bunch of names, in the mix, and who did it seem like we might be going for? The guy down south, the English fella, McKenna, or the Irish fella who plays in, And
there was rumours of Robbie Keane.
He seemed to be the front runner the last I was here. Well, that's all changed, obviously, now, and the picture has clarified, and he's already been announced, hasn't he? Willfriednancy. David, you're a French speaker. It's not even Willfried, it's Willfriednancy.
Yeah, well, I think if we can keep it Willfriednancy is at least not too bad.
Yeah.
I think.
Should we just call him Wilfried? Should we just go with Wilfried and spare everyone's embarrassment?
Brother Wilfried. He's a brother and he's Wilfried.
Yeah.
Exactly. Brother Wilfried works really well.
Perfect. Yeah.
Or big Willie style.
Yeah, so I think depending on how the results go, they'll go from Nancy to Nancy to, whatever sort of variations you
Let's just call him Wilfried. Let's call him Wilfried. Columbus Crew have confirmed that assistant coach Kwame Ampadu, assistant coach and fitness coach Jules Guéguin, and video performance coach Maxime Chalier, we're not going to talk about them much, will all join Brother Wilfried's coaching staff at Nancy. So new brooms coming in. How much research have we done? Have you been watching videos of him being interviewed in the States and all sorts? Do you have a handle on what sort of coach he is, David?
Well, we had this last week. There was Sky News did about 10 minutes on him. The guy who was interviewing him was quite funny looking. He looked like a sort of Groucho Marx. And I think when they call it soccer, it kind of, it's like, it kind of takes away the, how good or bad he is. But no, but by all accounts, he's got a great reputation. I wouldn't read too much into, the goal difference, and I don't think last season he was particularly brilliant. I think he won or drew more games than he lost, and didn't really score that many. But by all accounts, I say he had, he's with a limited budget, with the wage cap that they have over there. So he should, of course, he's got the wage cap and
the wage cap,
with the Celtic board. But potentially, it's good. I think, as Mahesh said earlier on, I think it's it is a risk. Especially when we've had such fantastic success with Martinoneill.
What are we going to do? Keep on with O'Neill and tell this new up-and-coming manager just to howl his wished until we think we've squeezed all the juice out of O'Neill? It's ridiculous. We need a new manager.
Well, I mean, it's again, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Well, I mean, O'Neill was always a sticking plaster.
No, sure, but our next 3 games are, Hearts, Roma, and the cup final. So that's very challenging for any manager. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But at least
Let's get him in.
At least O'Neill's got him on a good foot, and he's got the team playing well. Team playing with a lot of confidence. The one thing I was surprised about was that I had heard that there was going to be an ex-Celt in the background team, and I was kind of expecting that to be Maloney, but he seemed to say in his message that he wanted to thank Martin and Sean, and I got the feeling from that he was basically saying thanks, but goodbye,
Farewell.
Although I don't know if does Maloney go back to his youth team or whatever.
Someone mentioned that in the group, in the chat there, or whether he's back the player development role. Yeah, I'm not sure. Brian, from what I've gathered of him and the way he plays, there's question marks over how unprepared this squad is for what he wants them to ultimately do. So that is going to take time, because the things I've heard is, back 3. He likes to play with a back 3. He likes to have wing backs athletically bombing up and down the pitch. He likes a midfield enforcer. None of those things fit easily with what we've got right now, do they?
They probably don't, but what you can say about the current squad is the resilience that they've shown, and the ability to change. And we look at players like Scales, he was out the door a few years ago. Nancy, I think, will keep played safe for the first couple of games and try and put Hearts to the sword, get the game in hand, won, lift the cup final, lift the trophy at Hampden. Roma, again, I'm not really too fussed about that, but it'd be nice to get the win. We should have the players there to play a back 3. I mean, KT can bomb on. The problem is personnel. I think he needs to get players in. He needs to get players to work to his system, and if Dyson wants to go, he needs to get a significant replacement. And it was very telling way the statement, we're going to back him fully.
But they say they've backed every manager fully.
They haven't. They haven't. They usually do the first year. Any Celtic manager, their first transfer window is usually the one they get the most quality in. And then the second, they're like, we'll give you it last year and one or two. Like, you think of Brendan whenever he had Odson Edward and what do you call him, Dembele and Scott Sinclair. And then the next season, they brought in the big fella that scored away to Lazio. He was a great player, but I forget his name now. He was
the midfielder.
He came from City's academy. He was on loan. What's
French.
His name? French. Come on, but tell you what, my brain is just gone. I can see his face.
Mickey was at that game.
He looks a bit like one of the baddies out of Superman.
Somebody 2. In chat help us out.
Olivier Nicham.
Nicham.
So
don't put us under the spot like that, Brian. Have your notes ready.
No.
What do you call your man who scored that goal? Oh no.
No, your fella. You know the one. The guy. He's a right footer.
Well, one man whose name we all know is Thierry Henry. It's almost certain we're going to see some of him at Celtic Park, not in an official role, but he's got so many connections now with the team. Willfried is a pal of Thierry Henry. Sean Maloney's a pal of Thierry Henry, and Fozzie is pals with Thierry Henry. So he's not going to be his assistant or anything, but we're definitely going to see pictures of him in the stands, aren't we, David?
Yeah, another one who, most of the Republic of Ireland fans won't be desperate.
Bastard.
Handball bastard.
He still hasn't.
Never forgiven. Never forgiven.
Yeah.
No way.
it's funny how the hand of ball, the hand of God from Maradona, is he's seen as a Scottish legend, whereas Henri is he's hated by the Republic fans quite rightly for cheating them outside of an opportunity to get to the finals of the competition. So no, I wouldn't be too desperate to see him here.
Am I lowering the tone? What did I just say? Something. Not sure. It says in the comments. Stop lowering the tone, Gaff.
What did he say?
I don't know, Big Willie. Or maybe he's listening back. Maybe he's behind.
Probably
So
referring to Henri.
Here,
it is funny though that what an amazing player and all his achievements in the game, and that one moment, just follows him around, doesn't it? As you were saying, Brian, he gets asked about it all the time.
Yeah, it's like that guy who built a hotel and they said they don't remember me for Brian the hotel builder, or the guy that
one time.
That one time, the guy that won the Formula One race, and they don't call him that. I mean, I had a relationship with one dog. Bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm. You shag one sheep, I thought you were going to say.
Well,
well, so you're trying to keep it clean, so you went from sheep to dog. Is that more acceptable?
I had a relationship with a dog. That could have been.
All right, a relationship. All right, the Hearts game then. Do you think David Nancy is going to come in and just say, listen, lads, you're doing all right. I don't want to shake things up too much. Kind of go out and do your thing against Hearts. He's not going to try and do too much before this game. What can he do, really?
Pretty much. The thing is, I mean, we've got so many injuries. I think I would expect the midfield again picks itself.
Brian has to go. Brian, it's okay. We'll say goodbye to Brian. Sorry, bye, mate. All the best.
Cheers, Brian. All the best. Thank you. And but yeah. Just I think that he's only in the door. I don't know if he was even at the game last night. So I'm sure he's kind of swatted up on. I'm sure he's done his homework. But you have to play pretty much the same team that we started with yesterday, and then let them see who maybe gets a chance. I mean, the lesser seen in Amura, I don't know if we'll ever see him. The Japanese Shin, whatever. But really, we're struggling for squad depth. So I reckon
certainly are. Struggling for squad depth. People getting injured left, right, and centre. The African Cup of Nations coming up. I mean, January's going to be a big deal. Another thing that's a big deal for Hearts fans is Tony Bloom might be in a little bit of bother. I don't know if you saw this story, David.
Yeah.
Brighton owner Tony Bloom accused of running secret £600 million betting syndicate.
Yeah, I think it
allegations in a High Court claim. It says here. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it says in the bottom of that. As I say with my eyesight, I can't read that at all. But I think it says that he was, as part of when he became the owner of Brighton, somehow he was allowed to, because he's with his betting company, that he was allowed to keep the betting company, but he wasn't allowed to put any bets on the Premiership or some sort of English football, whatever. And I think his lawyers will be all over that to say, well, he's actually not done that. But I I think Pete, just looking at the chat, I think Pete definitely got out of bed the wrong way this morning. I think we have been playing well. I didn't see the whole game last night because it was a 3:00 kickoff in Bangkok. But the highlights, I think we could have scored 3 or 4 goals quite easily yesterday. The midfield is night and day from what it was, before Martinoneill took over.
That's the point. We're playing a lot better. We're not playing brilliantly. It's not peak Ange or anything, but it's a marked improvement from where we were.
Yeah, but you look at, I know Sarachi's injured again, but he's been tremendous down the left side. We've got 5 or 6 players that have been playing pretty well consistently now, and it's been tremendous what we've managed to do with the same number of players. I mean, if you look at, it shows you how much domination we've had for the last 25, 26 years. We've won 5 of our last 5 league games, but still, statistically, over the last 26 years, this is still our 5th worst, position in terms of the number of points gained after the 12 or 13 games.
Bonnie Mahesh. The question is, was Bloom making any money out of it? I don't think he is. His algorithm isn't good enough. All right. Okay, well, let's wrap it up with a couple of little social media bits here. David, I don't know if you saw this. High altitude game of football.
You've got 2 things coming up that, I mean, I'm absolutely petrified at heights, and just watching that. I would almost have preferred to watch the second thing you're going to show, but that takes a certain level of.
I mean, that is real, isn't it? That's not AI. I mean, everything's AI these days, but that's real. That's a pitch suspended from a hot air balloon, and the 2 guys are playing. They've got what do you call it? Parachutes on.
Parachutes, yeah.
But that's real. That's incredible.
That's mental.
So that's the thing. That was one of the things I'm going to show you. The other thing, what is it? Is it a particular concern of yours?
Well,
Don't say what it is.
I wasn't sure when I saw it the first time. I thought it was the worst Brazilian I'd ever seen. But
this is a tree, and the tree kind of looks furry, but it says the hair on the tree is comprised of the legs of thousands of harvestman spiders, aka daddy long legs, huddled together for warmth. I mean, where do you see the hairiness? That's the hairiness, right? And then look at that. Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, that is creepy even for people who aren't arachnophobes. Right, David?
Yeah, I think you need a lot of penicillin for that, I think. But yeah, fairly horrific stuff.
Well, there you go. Fairly horrific stuff. That's what this show's all about.
I'm not sure what it says about your search engine. What were you looking for that you found? That particular photo.
Spiders' legs, maybe, which is a reference maybe to old school porn. 70s. Who knows? Anyway. Nobody can say we don't keep Celtic World viewers up to date with all the most fascinating things on the internet. All right, we'll leave it at that, David. We've got through it. My battery has held up remarkably well. I've no idea what's going on with it. I'm taking my laptop in tomorrow to get it sorted. Hopefully they won't find anything untoward.
Get yourself to Bangkok and get a new laptop in Bangkok. What can possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? All right. Well, maybe we should play one of these just for the people watching before we say goodbye. Here's a French one in honor of our new manager.
Hello all the Celtic fans. Here in France we love the Celtic world. C'est fantastique. Subscribe. C'est un fait accompli.
Yes, like and subscribe. Help us push on up to 2,500. We don't go on about it enough, but we'll close the show with that little thought. All right, David, until next time. A plus.
Hey, well, folks. Cheers.
Tout à l'heure.